it's really important to identify how you're going to track that progress and the outcome. What actions are you going to take? And what will you do to achieve that goal?
Welcome. This is the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping others through real estate investing. Our hosts interview guests from all aspects of real estate investing who generously share valuable experiences and advice. Whether you're starting out or an experienced investor, this is the show for you.
How's it going? My name is Travis Shelton, and welcome to the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast, where I typically interview guests who want to help others investing in real estate. But today I have something very special. Today I wanted to talk about something that really is important for every entrepreneur out there and really every individual, and that is setting goals. And today in particular, we're going to talk about SMART goals. And so I want to be able to provide the audience not only with interviews, but also with a lot of resources and tools and tricks to be able to get more success out of life and more success out of your real estate investing. Many of you guys know I was a residency program director or really focused on pharmacy education for a number of years of my life. And these are some things that I really utilized in my day-to-day and a W-2 to help others achieve their own success at a very high professional level. So today on the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast, we're going to talk about SMART goals. And so why are goals important? Well, they're important because they're what you want. You know, goals should be about and for you. A goal should scare you a little bit, but excite you a ton. They should stretch and challenge and organize your thinking and your behavior, and they should really guide you towards something you really, really want. Don't make a goal you don't want to achieve, right? You know, secondarily, you should always write down your goals. So many people, even my wife, I'll be hard on her. You know, she's like, I have goals. I'm like, where are they? They're not written down. Goals not written down are dreams. You gotta write them down. And Albert Einstein said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Tony Robbins says, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And Brian Tracy states, committing your goals to paper increase the likelihood of your achieving them by 1,000%. I'll say that again. 1,000%. By writing them down, you're 1,000% more likely to achieve them. So write them down, Aaron. I love you. Second, how can you? How can you really progress towards something or a target that you haven't defined? If you wanted to get a degree in college, right, you might have started off with general studies, but at some point you had to decide what degree you were going to go towards. Same thing in life. You don't go on vacation without knowing a destination more often than not. You can't get anywhere that you don't know where you're trying to get to. So you got to have that goal. And if that goal isn't clear, how can you possibly move towards it? So what are SMART goals? It's an acronym. Most of you guys have probably heard about it. You know, so S is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, and T is time-based. You might hear different things, time-bound for T and you know, maybe some different acronyms, but this is the basis of what a SMART goal is. And we'll go over to each of these in a little bit more detail. So when you're setting your SMART goals, the first step is making it very, very specific. Your goal has to be direct. It has to be detailed, and it has to be meaningful. Can't be ambiguous. It has to be very, very specific. You want to define your goal in as much detail as possible. So it shouldn't be one or two words. It should be one or two sentences. It might be one or two paragraphs. And you want to write down exactly what it is you want to accomplish. Again, as specific and clear as you possibly can be. Second, you want to make sure that your goal is measurable, or the steps to your goal are measurable. So you want that goal to be quantifiable so that you can track progress and track your success. If you want to have $1 million, You don't want to start from zero and then all of a sudden start counting when you have 1 million. You want to see that progress. You want to see that, hey, I've saved 10,000. Hey, I have 100,000 in my bank. I have 500,000 in assets. I have 2 million in assets, right? Show that progress, because it's really easy to quit, but not realize that you've gotten so much progress if you just stop and you don't track anything. So it's really important to identify how you're going to track that progress and the outcome. What actions are you going to take? And what will you do to achieve that goal? You know, if it's weight loss and you want to lose 100 pounds, you can't lose 100 pounds in a day, you know, but you can start taking small steps. Maybe it's walking 10,000 steps every day. Maybe it's just walking outside every day. Maybe it's restricting your calories. Maybe it's starting a diet. Maybe it's starting to track what you eat. But there's so many little things that you need to be able to track to be able to accomplish that goal. Real estate investing is the same thing. If you want to get to a number of doors or a set number of cash flow, you got to track those things and show your progress. The next, it needs to be attainable and achievable, right? You can't make a goal that I'm going to have 1,000 doors this year if you don't have any doors. That's one of the things we'll talk about, but you have to make sure that this is attainable. Your goal has to be realistic. You have to have the tools and or resources to be able to attain it. You know, I want a Ferrari. I want a K5, really nice old 1970 Blazer chop top. That'll be one of the ways I celebrate some of my big goals that I get to achieve one day. But you want a goal that you're willing to and able to work towards. But you really have to, and only yourself can really say within that amount of time if the goal is realistic. Now, the goal might be realistic in 10 years, but maybe you need to break that goal into smaller goals that maybe you can accomplish in 12 weeks or 1 year or 2 years so that they can be a little bit more achievable. They have to be relevant. Your goal has to align with you, whether it's yourself or your business, your mission in life, your mission in your company. They really have to align with your own personal goals first and foremost, and they have to matter to you. You're not going to work towards anything you don't really like. That's why it's hard to work in a W-2 and work towards a company success that really you're just going to collect a paycheck regardless of how successful that company typically is or is not, right? Your goal really has to matter to you. It's going to be a significant amount of your time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears. So it's got to make a difference to you as well. So what is most important to you? Next, it needs to be time bound or have some sort of time frame. Again, I want to be a millionaire. Well, this year, next year, 50 years from now, when do you want to be a millionaire, right? You got to have some sort of time pressure, right, on your own shoulders, because you accomplish a lot more when there's a deadline, right? We all cram for that finals test, right? Somehow we get through school. It's because they set it up by semester, but you know, if I get through this semester, I'll get to the next one, right? It's these little hurdles that life and education and certain things in our life have really prepared us for these things. But once we get out into the real world, we're not setting our own goals. We're not setting up our own education system or semesters to be able to accomplish the things that really make a difference in our life. Instead, we just a lot of times let things happen to our own lives and kind of deal with it or react instead of being proactive and really making our path instead of just emblazing our path instead of just, you know, figuring out what's given to us and kind of taking it from there. So your goal has to have a deadline. It has to. Could be a day, could be 12 days, could be a month, could be 6 weeks, could be a year, could be 10 years. Doesn't matter. Has to have a deadline. How long is it going to take to complete? Again, I like to break things up. I do all my goals in 12 weeks. I do have a 1-year goals and I have 5-year goals, but I like to break things down in 12-week increments. What can I get done in those 90 days, right? Just like a business. I run my life like a business in the quarter system. And what is a realistic and appropriate time frame? Again, for some of us, maybe $1 million a year isn't too drastic of a goal, while others, maybe someone says, I just like to have 100,000 this year. I'd like to be able to create $10,000 extra in passive income this year, or have $10,000 extra at the end of the year to be able to invest next year. We all have different measurables and different goals, but so only you can answer what is realistic and appropriate time frame for you. And then you have to decide, how are you going to track your progress, right? And you got to have something that you can track. And again, that's why it has to be trackable. Things change. In life, things change all the time. Your goals are going to change. People don't like to write down goals because, hey, in 12 weeks, they're not relevant to me anymore. Fine, change them, move forward, adapt and modify those and move forward. Recognize that goals will change because your circumstances change, life changes, a third kid comes, whatever it might be, right? So when things happen, you have to be able to modify and update. And again, one of the reasons why I do 12-week goals, because in 12 weeks, they do change. I might find, hey, this one's not important anymore, but now I'm already updating them. I'm setting big goals 3 or 4 times a year, not just once a year on the 1st of January, but I'm setting them throughout every 12 weeks, every quarter. I have a different goal to be able to accomplish and a goal that I'm seeking. And I have them in many different areas, which we're not going to get into today, but really, you got to be able to modify, update, and then move forward with your goals. And one of my favorite quotes of all times is from Napoleon Hill, and it states, "The majority of men meet with failure because of their lack of persistence in creating new plans to take care of those which fail." You're going to have a lot of plans. You're going to have a lot of goals that are not meaningful after you write them down a couple weeks after, a couple months later. But you always have to be creating and rethinking, what is my next goal? What is my next target? What is my next destination? So that you're always moving forward. So some final motivation to create goals. Lou Holtz said this and I loved it. I heard it from the Brian Buffini show. But if you're bored with life, if you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, you don't have enough goals. I love that. I wake up, I have so many things I want to accomplish. I can't sleep at night. I can't wait to wake up in the morning so I can go and tackle something and get something done. I always focus on my most important next step or, something very critical in the morning so that I can get one thing done at least every single day before the kids are awake, before everything happens in my life. And then Andrew Carnegie said, if you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. And I hope you guys are creating goals like this. I do have a free template if you're interested in learning more about how Hot REI can help you with setting your goals and your SMART goals. Feel free to email me at travis@hotrei.com, and I'll send you a free SMART goal worksheet for real estate investing. So it will hopefully help you create an amazing SMART goal or goals for your 2023 real estate investing needs. Thank you for tuning in today, and commit to take action this week to move your investing forward. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to the Hot Real Estate Investing Podcast. Check out our website, hotrei.com, for additional content and resources. And please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review so we can continue to bring even more value to others through real estate investing.